see some glowing lights back there. I think that might actually be some kind of like a... What do you see out there? You ready to go in? You're a good girl, aren't you? Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, Little Southern Pine. Today, Fiona and I are staying in a remote cabin on a beautiful lake. This cabin might be one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It's completely decked out. It's like you're staying in somebody's personal hunting lodge. It's absolutely beautifully designed. It's an old cabin. There's a history of it. I'll read to you guys here in a little bit. It's absolutely amazing. I've stayed in quite a few cabins, and this is one of the best. For the regular viewers of this channel, I do apologize that it's been a while since we posted a video. Between work and visiting family, we've had quite a bit of time traveling. Hey, baby. I did at least want to let you guys know that everything is okay. Fiona and I, lovely bride, we are all safe, healthy, and happy. It's just been a busy summer, so thank you guys for sticking with us. I do appreciate you guys that had reached out to make sure that lovely bride, Fiona, and myself were all okay. That was really sweet of you guys, meant a lot to us. So thank you guys for checking in on us. We're back, and we'll be posting much more regularly than the last month. So with that, let's give you guys a quick tour of home. What do you see out there? Huh? What do you see? Yeah, good girl. All right, this is pretty neat that they actually have typed out on what looks like an old typewriter a little bit of the history of this place. So as well as a newspaper article about it and some pictures here. So we'll share those. Cabin chronology, as told by EWM by Father Joseph H. Wood, December 1977. Dwight, Walter, and Dad decided to buy a hunting cabin together. Their criteria were a good duck hunting lake, preferably with wild rice, no other cabins with timber, and if possible, fishing and other hunting. Dwight and Dad roamed around northern Minnesota, mostly in Cass County, doing a lot of looking and asking. They inquired at farms and small grocery stores mostly, only occasionally from a realtor. Eventually, they found the present site, which met most of their requirements, though there were other cabins on the lake. They paid $1,500 for the whole thing, including the cabin, which was built later. Dad drew up the plans. He once wanted to be an architect, with the suggestion and approval of the other two. The criteria for this were log construction, large kitchen, big enough for the Model T, high ceilings over a large dining, living, sleeping area. They did not consider that their families would ever use it, at least not much. The cabin was built during the winter from logs which presumably came from the 20 acres of forested land. No one knew or cared, however, exactly where the lines were. Rocks as big as possible were hauled in from the vicinity by the three men. These were to be used for the foundation. The first chimney was tile. The brick came later and was supported on a shelf in the kitchen. Dad and Dwight built the furniture and installed the sink. Walter, for the most part, did the cleanup jobs and split wood. He did not care about carpentry or mechanics. The pump and well were installed with a jackhammer. The men were very proud of the results. The asphalt shingles were hauled up via the men's cars, both for the cabin and later the garage. Walter had a Winton, and Dad an old Cadillac. They frequently got stuck in the swamps along the trail and bought the Model T to get around that problem. The oil drum stove was hauled in by Dwight, who did most of the scrounging. After the cabin was built, Walter and Dad especially enjoyed going up together to fish or just split wood. They considered the fishing, which seemed good at first, an extra dividend. They caught large pickerel, sunfish, and crappies. If there were any ducks, duck hunting was good. They also got ruffed grouse occasionally. Deer hunting was not very successful. On one hunt, all except one man slogging through the tamarack swamp, the one man who stayed at the cabin got the only deer. Dad never saw any bear, though he did see tracks once. And once he saw a few coyotes or wolves from a considerable distance. They were near the water. He goes on to talk about a duck hunting tale that he had. One time, Dad was left on a muskrat house while Walter and Dwight went on to the island. The ducks were many, and Dad soon used up all his shells. So there he sat, surrounded by dead ducks, empty shells, and cold water until the end of the day, when the other two, who also had had a good hunting, returned to pick him up. A very boring, cold experience. Another time, Dad and the Devines went up to the cabin only to find that all of the cooking utensils and lamps had been stolen. So for supper, they went over to Grubbers on Lake Washburn, a newly opened resort. They were probably the first customers, and the menu was very poor. They complained about the break-in, the reason for them being at Grubbers. The next morning, they found all the stolen goods deposited on the road at the end of the cabin property. On another trip, Dad and Dwight were driving along one of the small gravel roads in the Model T. Walter was 2 or 3 miles behind them in the Winton. Some local boys came along in a car, yelling and generally having themselves a time, and deliberately forced them off the road. They managed to stay out of the ditch for 50 to 60 feet, just a few inches from the edge, until the steering wheel came off in Dad's hands. And then they went to the bottom. Luckily, they didn't turn over or get hurt. Walter came along in a few minutes, and as always, he carried a heavy chain. He soon had them pulled out. The boys had driven on, laughing and shouting, country versus big city people. The steering wheel was held together with a pin driven through a notch, and the screw bolt holding the whole thing together had come loose. Another time, a cyclone came from the west, luckily, and no trees hit the cabin. So many big trees were down, however, that the cabin could only be reached on foot. 3 or 4 men from the office came along to help all the amateurs. They were allowed to chop off limbs, clean up, and haul away. Dad, Walter, and Dwight manned the saws, cutting the logs into 16 to 18-foot lengths. They were later hauled away to the sawmill. Took about 3 days. The Thayers and the Devines, with cabins near Brainerd, sometimes came to call, but complained about the brush scratching their Pontiacs. Pretty neat old story. You guys, I wanted to share something that I had found at on Facebook Marketplace. This lantern, which is an Embry Air Pilot #2, this is roughly 80 to 100 years old. I bought it for $10 off of Facebook Marketplace, and it is an absolute beauty. I'm really pretty excited about having this, and so excited actually that I wanted to show it to you guys and see if you guys would be interested in seeing me do a restoration video on how to bring this beautiful piece back to life. So if you're interested in that, if that's something that you guys would like to see, please comment down below that you guys would like to see me do that. I am definitely going to be restoring it and helping bring this thing back to life. Even going to try to paint it as close as I possibly can to the original colors. But you can see that it's I mean it's pretty rusted up here. So hopefully there are no holes in it, but we can patch those in case there is. I flat stole this idea from a channel that I really like, Kenny of All Trades. I've watched all of his episodes. He actually filled it up with like tiki torch oil that's full of citronella oil, and then he actually uses it as a bug deterrent, as a mosquito deterrent. So that's actually what we're going to be doing too. But we're gonna bring this baby back to life. A couple of you guys have asked me how I keep my GoPro charged whenever I'm doing either time-lapse for sunset or night-lapse to be able to catch the night sky. And I've got a little external battery pack here by Klarus. I think that's how you say it. The K5, and it's just this little battery pack. Just this little battery pack right here. And then I've got the Silver Ant mesh bags that I keep my titanium stuff in. Work perfectly for storing this. So take the USB end, hook that into the battery pack, to the Klarus battery pack, and then take the other end and put it into the charging end of the USB right there. That'll kick that on. And there you go. You're ready to set your time lapse. All right, you guys, we are back inside from setting the GoPro up for a night lapse out over the lake, so hopefully we'll be able to get a beautiful starscape out going there. We're absolutely loving this cabin. It is so nice here. And we're going to leave a link in the description below about, in case you guys want to stay here too, how to get in touch with the owner. I can't recommend it enough. If you're going to be anywhere near Outing, Minnesota, this is definitely a great place to stay. We'll leave his contact information down in a link below so that you can check that out. And I'm pretty sure it's time for some supper. If you guys guessed it, steak and onions, you nailed it. All right, first things first, we need to get a knife. That'll do, except for that is wildly dull. Looks like they've got a sharpener right here. Sharpen this up. Montreal steak spice. Thick crust of it on one side, virtually nothing on the other. Oh, we'll add a little bit of garlic too, why not? being such a good girl, aren't you? Yeah, hi, sweetie. Do you want a chewy? Want chewy? All right, let's see how this turned out. Cut right in the middle of that. A little closer to medium than medium rare, but good is good. Yeah, that came out perfect. All right, guys, we're going to finish this meal up. We'll come back to you guys in just a little bit, which is the perfect amount of time for you guys to click like and subscribe. We got the new TrustFire MC18 here, and I think it's time to go take a night walk. I like that on the forehead piece here that the piece that straps it in is rubber and not hard plastic, so it's not jamming into your head. Nice. There we go. Wow, that is bright. All right, let's do this. Come on, girl. Come on, let's go. This way, baby. Come on. Come on, here. Come on. Trail leads down this way. Let's go see what's going on down here. See some glowing lights back there. I think that might actually be some kind of like a RV hookup or something. Oh wow, they got some kind of a caboose back here. Like a caboose from a train. That is awesome. A bat just flew out of there too. That's pretty neat. Wonder what they've got planned for this. Obviously, danger construction area. They're planning to do something. What do you think, little girl? Looks like there's a glass window. Oh, that is neat. Passengers are prohibited from standing on platform while train is in motion. Oh, that is so cool. Be pretty neat if they fit this out to be some kind of another cabin that you can stay in. We'd definitely come back and be staying in there. That's so weird. I smell something like really sweet, very much like muscadine grapes for those of you guys in the South. will know what I'm talking about. They don't grow up here, so I don't know what could be smelling so nice and sweet like that out in nowhere, Minnesota. Nice little scented reminder of home, though. That was awesome. Got a bat that keeps swooping around over my head. Pretty neat that we found that caboose back there. Let's head off to another direction. Great big full moon right there. Come on, Fee. Come on. I know a lot of people talk about how the woods seem scary at night, and they do look different, I'll give you that, but there is definitely something beautiful and peaceful about the night woods. I do apologize, my audio got messed up here, but all I was saying was that this is by far the nicest bathroom I have ever had access to while out camping. I am seriously impressed with all of the decor that they have in this cabin. This roll-top writing desk that they've got is pretty awesome. And we might as well check out their library while we're here. Some pretty good books that they've got up here. Jack London, Tales of the North. Now, why wouldn't a fella read that when he had access to it? They've got all these beds already made up with these beautiful quilts and bedding underneath them, but we brought our own stuff. We're gonna sleep on top of it all with our sleeping bag here, so that way we don't mess it up and keep it all fresh. A new piece of gear that we just got that I'm really excited about is called the Quillow from UGQ Outdoors, and UGQ makes some of the best down-filled quilts and under quilts on the market. Obviously all for outdoor use, a lot of it's hammock use. So the Quillow that we have right here is a top quilt that also has a side pocket in it that you can turn it into a pillow, and that's what we're going to be using for tonight, is the pillow itself. So one other really cool thing that I liked about this when I received it, actually has your order number with your name on it, and then who actually made it. So, Miss Alyssa, thank you very much for this. I'm really excited to use it. So yeah, there's the pocket. You just take this, the rest of the quilt, fold it up, and then tuck it all just like that. You got yourself a pillow. So we'll leave this here to fluff up for a little bit. Let all that down puff back out. You only can hear a dog barking in the distance, so she's giving it her opinion. All right, y'all. Well, that is us tucked in for the night. We are going to curl up, get some sleep here, and we'll catch up with you guys first thing in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning, y'all. We had an absolutely amazing night of sleep. Slept the entire night through. No hassles whatsoever. It was absolutely amazing. I actually can't remember the last time that I slept that well indoors. So, wonderful time. We've got some sausage and some scrambled eggs here, as well as some cheddar cheese. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to enjoy this incredible lake view. And yeah, we'll catch up with you guys here in a little bit. you think, kiddo? You ready to get going? If you guys have stuck around this long, I truly want to thank you. It really does mean a lot to us. Please click like, subscribe, comment down below. We love getting the comments from you guys. So if you guys want to stay here in Outing, Minnesota at this beautiful cabin, we'll leave the link in the description below. We had an amazing time. If you're in this area, you really should check this place out. It's pretty unbelievable. We had an amazing time. We're going to get packed up and get on the road here. And until we meet again under the old Southern Pine, stay safe, and God bless.